Changes. Yes, changes. What type of changes have you experienced? Life in itself, what it put us through, and how it forces us to change for better. You know, I speak on this because I've changed so much over the past, maybe 5 years? It's so interesting because as I listen to this instrumental right here, this beat that's playing, like I said, the whole rapping and singing, you can ask me to rap like right now. Sometimes I get people that walk up to me when I'm out on the street and they'll just say, drop a verse, drop a 16. And it's weird because I'm no longer on that. Like that is completely out of my element. The more that I age and the more wise I become, I'm starting to see it as childish play. And I know like, I don't want to say anything. I'm speaking about those not in the, I'm speaking about when I'm not trying to make anyone mad when I say this. This isn't speaking on people that's in the industry. Because see, people that's in the industry, when they say that they rap or they actually do rap and they're well known, they're doing that as a service. They're doing that as a business, providing a service to those that want what they have to give. So in relation to what I got to say, I'm not speaking on that. But remember when I said about when I hear boys or even females say that they going to pursue a career of rap, and I'm kind of like, what's that? Rapping is not a career. Like, if you ask me, it's really not a career. The package to me is more of a career. Because see, I used to do it with the rapping, but the older I get, I just feel that it's all childish play. It's childish. See what I'm saying? This mindset that I have now, I would have never thought I would have came to this place of feeling the way that I feel. But changes are overtaking me. Sometimes I don't understand why. Because see, depending on what type of rapper you are, when I say rapping is not a career, you could actually step to a podium and deliver a message. And yet see, many people in today's society who claim to rap are not. They're just on stage bopping around. And bopping around. And bopping even more. So, I think I played out rap. Not on their side, but on my side. Because see, I was a hip-hopping head since the 90s. One of the number one reasons of why I shoot my videos like this in black and white is because when you had Yo MTV rap days back in the day, and when you had many of the rap groups, they shot their videos and they looked real grainy and gritty looking, being straight out of New York. That's one of the number one reasons, outside of just wanting to express imperfection. That's why I have my videos this color. It's for that reason. But I don't know what's going on with me spiritually. I just been evolving and changing. Now when I hear rap, or someone when they ask me to express it, or sometimes even singing, I just be like, that's childish play. If it's not in relation to writing, because see, writing is the thing. I think because I look so much at the business aspect, my business mind has evolved. My business model has evolved. So I take everything with the business mindset into anything. Whereas back in the day when I rapped and would sing, I looked at it more from an artistic perspective. And that I'm not downplaying art, because art gives you life. But in that whole area of rapping, it just seems so childish to me. Once you hit about 34, 35, 36, you just be you take a step back and you kind of like, what? Especially even when you listen to a lot of your old stuff, you be like, man, I was crazy. Because I feel that same way today. I'm standing up here. Wait, I'm about to go dark for a second so I can turn this volume down. I'm about to go dark for a second. I'm listening to these beats like that was, you know, my type of weather back in the day. And even last summer, somewhere around July. No, before then, somewhere around June. July of 2017, I was still really into hip hop. And I don't know what happened. Something went, not downstream, not upstream, or maybe in between. Something shifted. Because I got to a point where I just was no longer interested in hearing rap and hip hop. Not even on my iPod. And yet my iPod is so eclectic. I got that 150 gigabyte iPod, the classic, and it's filled up almost to the brim. The majority of it is hip hop, and the other majority is rock and roll. Along with EDM and some podcasts and stuff like that, but I just feel like, I think when you go through changes or something, bits and pieces of you are to be melted away or something. Because even like transitioning, when you do these transitions here, when life serves you the change, you hit that point where you actually lose your voice and you don't know where you stand. And I mentioned this in another video, you don't know where you stand. Because it's transitioning you for a better. You're going into higher consciousness. You're being plucked to different things, of old things and old ways, to usher in the brand new. And so, being that 80s baby and listening to 90s hip hop as a teenager, a lot of that is what got me through my teens, because it was highly entertaining and elevating, I thought, back then. But now, if I was to sit down right now and write some hip hop flows and try to, go to rap them out, the interest is not there. The singing is not there. Nothing is there. My voice, when I sing, I have a soulful voice, right? But it's not soulful enough. If I was to sing again, it's not soulful enough to make its way to gospel, because that's not my thing, for one. And it's not soulful enough for R&B, because to be amongst a black community, and I think too that's where the change has come. To be amongst a black community is, they want you to stand to their such high standards, and yet many of them can't even sing themselves. So if I take this soulful voice I have and put it in the realm of R&B, blacks will probably never accept it. Because look at how Whitney Houston was bashed before she died. That's one of the number one reasons too why Whitney Houston is dead, and most black people don't even consider such. To have a voice sometimes is to falter. When there's up, there must be down. And so to hold a standard, such a high standard in the realm of vocals for someone that can sing, and yet they can't always keep it together, and yet you can't sing. I'm speaking in relation to certain black people that put others on a high, standard, and yet them themselves can't even do half of what you can do. That's one of the reasons why I hold no interest in singing in R&B. I don't. Because if I'm disowned by my own, why would I want to deliver the goods? Remember, I write love songs. Have written for other people and still do. So, why would I want to deliver to those that reject what I have to offer? That's why I'm transitioning. I refuse to step on anybody's stage and belt out some notes and then be discarded, because that's what seems to be the thing going on in the Black community. They're all over you, yeah, when you're like famous and all that other stuff, but it seemed to be all this, what's up, let's bring it down, crabs in the barrel mentality. So if I'm no longer interested in rap, and I'm no longer interested in singing on stage and singing the stuff like I used to, even back then my lane was pop. I've watched Janet Jackson for so long that I guided myself up under or behind her in her style. No, not Britney Spears, Janet Jackson. So she's completely all pop. So that's what I was doing. Is more of the pop lane. And so as I grow older and mature, I'm trying to see in relation to arts, business stuff, where I fit. Because you have many, even famous people, that they go through change and growth, and yet they don't grow their brand. It stays the same. Because remember, a brand is to stay the same. Yes, it is, but at the same time, you should also evolve that brand. You shouldn't have it where it's just stagnant in one place. It should grow. When you grow, you want to add bits and pieces of the elements of your growth into your art. Because if not, those who are watching you, they feel stuck right along with maybe you feeling stuck. I don't know. I like change. I welcome it and I invite it. So, rapping, I think I posted this on Twitter. Rapping for me was more of an experiment. It's easy to write rap and stuff like that for other people. It's easy to write love songs and all that for other people. But when it comes to me, it doesn't fit my aura. I'm wondering if I walk around and I ask random people what they think that I do. I should do that. Just to see what they say. Would photography come out? Would drawing artists come out? Because I do that as well. Would painting come out? Would playing the piano come out? Would riding a skateboard come out? I had a skateboard as a kid as well. I might end up dropping some stories from back in the day. It makes all kind of more intriguing. But the evolving process, transitioning into higher levels, you have to stay open to it and just allow it to be. One of my peers from one of my old colleges, I ended up running into or whatnot, and that's what she was telling me, because she now attends the church that I used to go to when I went to church a long time ago. She told me, she said, you're going through changes and I can feel it. You just have to let it happen. And I'm allowing it to happen. I'm allowing it to happen. But sometimes when you change so much, you feel a disconnection with others because you no longer relate. And that's what's happening right now in the area of rapping and hip hop. Those who did it or who have done it or on their way to trying to do more of it, I can't really relate to them no more. I feel like the past is dead and it has died. I just can never see myself on any one stage bopping around with a microphone and I'm repeating this message again because it just does not seem right. And yet for me, when I was into that type of thing, for me it was just fun and game. It was something to let the time go by instead of sitting worried and depressed. It was something to put my mind at ease with. Now, spoken word, that's another thing. I consider, because I've done that in the past as well, when you get on the stage and you present your message through microphone or via microphone to others who are willing to listen in the audience, I've considered that as well in a new form, not in the same stagnant form that I was once in, but in a new form, just changing so much. I relate to others so differently. Like now, if I was to do a demographic on myself, if I was to run a demographic game on myself, I could say now I relate usually with older black women, somewhere around my mom's age, and sometimes around my granny's age. So that would be older black women, say in their mid 50s, older black women in their 70s, 80s, older white women. I relate a lot with older white women, and they're usually in their 30s, in their 40s, 50s, and maybe 60s. So I relate a lot with older white women. I don't know why that is. Black females, let me see. When it comes to them being my age, I don't really relate too much with black females my age, unless they're nerdy, unless they're really, really nerdy or into technology, unless they question things a lot. Other black females, like I said, we don't really relate too much. And if we do have good conversation, because most of the time I can't even get them to speak to me, which is crazy. They won't even speak to me. But the ones that do, they treat me like I'm their brother, which is so crazy. They treat me like as if I'm their brother, their kid brother, or their brother their age. So that's cool. White guys, I relate a lot with white guys. Like, wherever I go, they're naturally drawn to me. And I don't know why that is. White guys they'll stop anything they're doing. Say if I drop something, I can be outside and I'll drop something right now, and I'll just hurry up and come and say, oh, you need help? With anything. They're like that. It hasn't always been like that, but I think probably because the type of energy that I put out. I had a repel type of energy of stay away from not just them, but from a lot of different people. Black guys, we can't really... Oh, the demographic on the white guys is usually... they're of all ages, which is weird. And they're usually the ones that either get into gaming, and I don't really play video games all like that. I just be doing other stuff. Or they get real heavy into Star Wars. They get really into Star Wars because I always wear a Star Wars book bag and my other Star Wars vintage apparel. And then the older white guys, when we sit down and talk, it's always about something like business type of stuff. Then when it comes to black guys, the only ones that I really get along good with black guys is the ones that they're kind of nerdy and they're really into business. They like Wall Street. They're drawn to stuff like that. They're drawn outside of what the normal black guy is drawn to. So it's like marketing or advertising or Wall Street or Bitcoin. They're drawn to stuff like that. They're considered to be an Oreo, is all I'm saying. They're like white on the inside and yet brown or black on the outside. Then other black guys that say they're into technology. Some, it depends on when it comes to recording. It depends on that. Because some of them have what I would like to call the nigga mentality. And I hate calling them that, but they like calling themselves that. But I'm thinking, why would you want to call yourself a derogatory term that someone else gave you? Like, why would you want to brand yourself with that? So, it's an issue there with that because with many black guys, they feel like I'm this brown person, this brown girl, that I'm so white or something. I don't know, because I've been told that even by family members. Oh, you're white this, you're white. Just because based upon how I think, it's not the traditional black way of thinking, I guess. So with the black guys, yeah, usually if they're in a tech or something like that, recording tech audio tech, audio engineer, and they have a real open mind to discuss just not black issues. I don't want to hear about slavery. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about slavery. We all come from Africa. It has happened, and we all have cried. But when I say I don't care, it's not fully that I'm just saying F it. It don't matter. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the fact that you got to find a way to get over. We're living in today. Opportunities is all around you. No, white people is not in charge of your struggle. They're not responsible for your struggle. This is 2018. Get with the program. So I get kind of real mean and lethal, almost evil when it comes to that thing of especially black guys. I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but nobody wants to hear it because remember, everybody has a struggle. Even white folks have struggles. No one is exempt in life. That's what I'm saying. No one is exempt from hardship in life. All of us here, even white supremacy, that type of motto, even those people are not exempt from problems. So I just allow people to be themselves, as well as I ask them to respect me, to let me be myself. But I can't get on that whole victim mindset. It don't work out for me. And the whole Black Lives Matter coming together on that don't work out for me either, because a lot of black folks won't even speak when I see them in public. I can't even get them to say a hello. I can smile on everything and they won't say hi. So moving on from that, I change, and I'm changing for better. So in me changing for better, I take it for what it is and I just slowly transition. But yeah, rap, it just seems so childish. And it's interesting because if you ask many of the celebrities that were in the industry, say a Snoop Dogg or somebody, because Snoop Dogg still acts like a kid, but he's still a grown businessman. He has to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lasted as long as he has in the industry. But I'm sure if you ask someone like him, he'll also say it's a childish type of game. With the microphone, not with the business. Just rapping in itself is so childish. It is. It's so childish. I mean, I can understand, yes, poetry like I do with spoken word, but something feels stunted. I don't know what it is. But when I'm listening to it and I get with it and I'm trying to, rap once again myself, I feel like the growth is so stunted. And maybe it's because with these rappers, the business is not there. You got what I'm saying? The business is not there. And I'm not talking about the ones that's doing stuff with Wall Street or on Wall Street, or they're see, you could have a rapper and he actually raps, but he put Wall Street and everything else before the rapping. So when I see somebody and they're riding on this big old car and rims and all this other stuff, I just be like, dude, am I watching a kid? Like, what's happening? I want to see business. Like, when it comes to rap, like, who cares? Especially if you're over the age of 35, or even if you're 30. That's even if you're 20, 28, 29, 30. It's so weird. And that could be because I understand the structure and the process of structuring rap songs. I understand the process of all that. It all comes from elementary, nursery rhymes. That's all it is. Rap is just nursery rhyming to a beat. And so I just be like, God, is this grade school? Now, I'm trying to think in the future, would I ever make some videos of me ever rapping again? Because on one of my other YouTubes from years back, I had that. But I don't know. I would have to be in a different space. So please don't ask. Don't ask. Nobody asks me no more. I don't think that works out. Because I'm too obsessed with the technical field of audio engineering. That's where I'm at right now. Yes, being a woman. I'm going to make a video about that. But that's it about the gift and gab of rap. How you feel about it?